Dear Sweetie, and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, love. Reverse colorism doesn't exist. And the reasons why we keep having this conversation about you is because colorism never stopped you from being told the truth about your talent. It isn't that you are a bad person. It's the talent is not there. And we got to be honest, sister. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What is going on, you all? We got to talk about Saweetie and her response to a tweet about her waking up and thanking colorism every morning. One tweet that I responded, I said, I thought I tweeted, but honestly, I wouldn't say anything like that because like I have a big following and I just don't want to be inherently like mean to celebrities or anybody for that matter. But I will say that the tweet did make sense and Saweetie's response to it was very questionable. So I'm gonna read the tweet off. This is what the person said. They said, I bet Saweetie wakes up every morning, brushes her teeth, looks in the mirror, and thanks God for colorism. Now, this was tweeted like, probably a day before Saweetie responded to it. She was not tagged. I'm pretty sure fans saw it. It did get a lot of attention. And she was probably tagged in it, and she responded and said, yikes, tasteless humor. Nothing witty or clever about this whatsoever. Matter of fact, joking about a serious psychological battle is never funny. You don't agree with my art, that's fine. Don't identify me with a behavior that condones discrimination. I don't know how that works. Don't identify me with a behavior that condones discrimination doesn't make any sense. I'm not arguing that you are yourself discriminating on other people. What we're arguing and saying is that you benefit from a system when others do not. Other people are discriminated on by the color of their skin. That is not something that you will ever have to deal with. This is not even something you're dealing with right now. Like, your response, considering that you have a degree in communications, this was not it at all. Like, I don't care how y'all try to spin it. For Saweetie to be as knowledgeable as she is, and I truly feel like that she is intelligent, this should have never been like a response to begin with. Like, it should have never been a response. Like, it should have been something that just left and ignored and da-da-da-da. Like, there's a lot of things that Saweetie has ignored, even the tweets about her being in a relationship or dating a known colorist. We don't even know if that's true. Like, people are saying that you are dating YG, who is a known colorist, and who even made a comment at Nipsey's like memorial service about having light-skinned girls and all of this. Like, you are in a relationship, from what people are saying, with somebody who is a known colorist. And yeah, like, if this was truly important to you, if this was a psychological battle, you would not be around people like that. And I understand that a lot of these rappers, male rappers, are inherently colorist. A lot of men are inherently colorist. We see it each and every day. We see it like going back, looking at tweets from men from 10 years ago and how they talked about not just women, but specifically dark-skinned black women. It's every other week we see a podcast with two men, being called out for being colorists and stuff. So it doesn't surprise us. So, Saweetie, you've never been on the receiving end of that, because that's not how colorism works. Like, colorism doesn't go up and down. If that's the case, it would just cancel out. There's no such thing as reverse colorism, reverse racism. There's no such thing. Like, oppression only goes down. So you benefit from this system. We're not saying that you created it. We're not saying that you're upholding it. We're saying that you benefit from it. And in this moment and how you are, sharing your emotions about this, you are benefiting from colorism in this. Like, people responding and feeling bad for you. Now, this tweet, people can argue and say it was tasteless, all of that. Like, this person did not tweet it at Saweetie. He did not tag her. It was a joke. Was a joke, like, bad? Yeah. Like, I honestly responded and said, it sounded like something I would have said. I thought it was funny. Like, I was like, wow. Like, wow. I've seen a lot of other things on Twitter. People were upset about this. And I was like, didn't really say anything. Like, it was a conversation about how Saweetie benefits from colorism. It could have been done in a better way. Yes, all of that, but it got people's attention and it got Saweetie's attention, and she responded to it. And the person locked their Twitter account. I don't know if they deleted the tweet. They probably did, because there was a lot of like backlash from it, because people see Saweetie as a genuine person. Like, she's not mean. She doesn't do anything. We've never seen her in no drama or any of that. Like, I personally like Saweetie on that type of scale. Like, I like her in that. I like her, personality. She seems fun. She does good, like, social media stuff, da da da. But when it comes to the colorism conversation with her, like, it just reminds me, like, I can't give you too much because it doesn't seem like you understand it. Yes, there was a time where you corrected Too Short when he was being colorist in the live stream that you were doing with him during the pandemic and talking about like all black women are beautiful. Love that, and I shout out to you for that.
When I leave out the Bay, when I leave from the Bay, as a youngster moving around, you would see a girl. She kind of fair skin, lighter skin, and she got a little hair and whatever, curly, straight hair, whatever. And you're like, hey, what you mixed with? And they would get offended. They'd be like, I'm black, I'm black. And I'm like, nah, you definitely mixed with something. And they would get mad. But in the Bay, you could meet a girl before you can say her name, be like, hey, what you mixed with? And she'd probably tell you that her mama's this, her daddy's that. And mixed heritage women have always been my favorite. Like, I don't think I've ever fallen in love with a woman that wasn't mixed.
Really?
And the debate did that to me.
Really?
Because it's something you get, I feel that way about life too. Like biracial babies are. You could take the two ugliest from different races, and they make a baby, and that baby just be beautiful. It happens all the time. You laughing, but it's true,
Bruh.
But you get to be congratulated by speaking up for that. When dark skinned women talk about their experiences of colorism, they're shunned and like, oh, you're bitter. Like, we're seeing that right now, even in the conversation with Aaron Pierre playing Jon Stewart, a dark skinned DC character, DCU character, whatever. The Green Lantern, like, it's a dark skinned character, and now dark skinned folks are talking about like how this is colorist. Like, this is inherently colorist. Like, folks are saying, oh, this is not color. It is colorist. It is colorist. And folks saying, oh, it's not. It's not. Like, y'all challenging the blackness. No, what we're saying is the character is dark skinned and a light skinned person should not be playing them. Point blank, period. Because we see that so often in Hollywood. It always happens. Like, it is erasure. So you benefit from that system. It doesn't mean that you created it. It means you benefit from it. And I'm going to be honest. Saweetie, you have a loving personality. I think some of that does come with the desire of you being light skinned. But I also think that, you are, you do have a specific way you talk and all of that. Like, you are funny. You are entertaining. But Saweetie, we've just seen too many moments of you not really showing us talent. I'm going to be honest, Saweetie. I can't name one dark-skinned female rapper that has gotten the attention and the access that you have gotten with less talent than you. Like, or I can't, like, or the same amount of talent. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. Like, we've seen you perform. The performances have not been good. Even when you were doing something with the VMAs, like a co-host or something, that wasn't good. You weren't good reading the teleprompter. Like, you have been able to be in spaces where talent is required, but when you look a specific way, it isn't really necessary. You're able to like be in these spaces and stuff without doing as much work. And to be honest, like, this is going to be harsh, but colorism is the reason why you are dealing with this, because if you were not light skinned and you were performing and moving like this from the very beginning, you would have not got any access. You would probably be doing something else with your life. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, you would not be thinking about being a rapper. Like, you would not be thinking about it at all. Like, we don't come to you for bars. We don't come to you for raps. Like, we come to you for a mood or an aesthetic and all of that. Like, you look good, but nobody's asking you to freestyle. Not saying every female rapper has to be able to do that or have this battle rap voice, but you are not like giving the energy that the other female rappers are giving. Like, you are not on the same level with them, and yet you are being part of the discussions. Like, you were in a whole Netflix documentary about female rap and stuff. Like, and it's, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you're a person who studies rap, like you are, a female rapper, but there were folks who had more like knowledge and more experience than you that could have been considered for their conversation. But because of your access, because of the way you look, you've been able to move in these specific like spaces. Like, it's no shade. And you're also like a daughter of a former video vixen that was in like male rappers music videos. Like, you have a couple of like family members who are celebrities. Like, you have access. You have more access than the ordinary person does, or the person who is just like going off of talent. I think what the issue is that you've never been really told no. You've never been told no. So I think that is why you're saying this psychological battle, because it's like, damn, like, ain't nobody really told me no. Like, what's going on? Like, people have been telling me yes, yes, and you done got here and you don't know how to do Excel. You have lied on your resume and said you know how to do Excel, and now you don't know how to do it. You don't have it. Like, you just don't have it, and it shows up. And you know, I can imagine it messing with you, because you are doing the things, you putting out music, still doing music videos and all that, and it's not getting the attention. It's like, even with you looking like this, people keep telling that you're beautiful, you bad, and all that other stuff, but they're not listening to the music because they caught on. They caught on to the illusion of you, like the illusion of you being these things when you're not. And not to say that Saweetie can't do other stuff, like, but girl, we got to be honest. Like, just because you want to do something doesn't mean you're going to be able to be successful at it. Like, I know, yeah, think it. Like, I get it, but this is not kindergarten anymore. Like, we're full adults. I would love to be just a baker. I love cooking. I'm struggling with like cooking. Like, my ADHD be kicking in when I'm trying to cook. I have been practicing, but you don't see me on Netflix giving a cooking show. You don't see me doing that full time. Like, cause I'm still in the beginning stages of like learning it. And that is how it's supposed to be. You should be practicing on stage. You have been having moments where you're practicing on stage. Like, and you want us to believe that colorism is not a thing? Like, I understand it's something that you may be dealing with, but it's like, you're not the only girl to deal with not being able to break it in the industry from like talent. Like, that's a story for a lot of the girls, like trying to prove themselves, like something that you're dealing with. Like, girl, there are a lot of ones who never even get a chance to even be recognized, who've had to bust their butt. Like, girl, like, come on now. And if you have been busting your butt, you said you went to this, you know, took some time off to get in boot camp and get your stuff together. We still ain't seen it. I don't know any other girls who've been able to like come out and then go to boot camp. You should be going to boot camp and then ready when you get in the stage bigger. You've been given the stage before you've been given the talent. And people have been okay with it because they see what you look like. Yes, you do benefit from colorism, sister. What makes it bad, not you as a bad person, is your refusal to understand that you do benefit from it. And try to do this reverse of, this is something that you're dealing with. It's like, girl, what? So if we're saying like you got to struggle with being light skinned and dealing with not being able to move in spaces and stuff and and people making jokes about your talent and stuff, like, what about the dark skinned girls who are trying to? What about the dark skinned fat girls? What about the fat girls, the girls who do not have these specific looking bodies and stuff, who are trying to break it and make it? And they have the talents, they can rap, they can do all of this stuff and cannot break it because, you know, the executives and folks are not investing in them because it's like, you're not a solid product for me to sell. See where I'm going? So it's just like, I can understand it's the internal battle with yourself, but you need to be taking that energy and applying it to perfecting your craft. And I just haven't seen anything to show us that you have been doing that. So yeah, like, back to the tweet. I don't know if it should have been tweeted. When it comes to celebrities and stuff, like, girl, there's so much other stuff that y'all don't respond to that things like this should be harmless. Like, this would have not been talked about like 2-3 days from now. Some stuff you just need to ignore. Like, some stuff, like, it's talked about now, we won't be talking about it next week. But this irked you because you know, it is some truth to it, and nothing hurts us more than the truth that is said out loud. So, sister, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, like, sister, you gotta figure it out. You may not wake up and thank colorism every morning, but you wake up and benefit from it every time. Sorry.